Hello everybody, I'm Hope and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Previously, a lot of schnaz went down. Basically, we got betrayed by our supposed homie, Archer, where we're trying to learn about this man, trying to figure out who he is, and we're still kind of like, in a way, not there yet, but it's okay, we're gonna get it. Hopefully I'm just not an idiot. That'd be cool. And also, you know, Caster's kind of OP, man. She got Kuzuki on her side, Sasaki, Archer, Familiars, and all of her, like, god tier magic. Yeah, we're kind of in a bad situation, you know? Thankfully, Shiro and Rin got to escape. They sat down to get some rest and had a heart-to-heart, and Shiro revealed the fact that he actually likes Tosaka. Not in just a, ha, we're friends, but more in a, dude, I admire you, and I actually think you're, like, great, and I like you. Like that, you know? Pretty wholesome, pretty sweet moment, and apparently you guys think so, too, because holy shit, that video blew up compared to my other videos. Like, it has 7 times the views of most of my vids, and that's kind of crazy to me, but, I mean, I'm very thankful. I'm gonna assume most people might not have watched it because they thought it was like a clip from UBW or something, but seriously, I appreciate it. Enough rambling. Let's get started. We're about to finish this day and into the next one. We ended off like in the last little bit of this day. Usually, you know, it's an end of the day when you return home at nighttime usually. So let's get through that and enjoy the next day. Wow, apologies. We're back at my place. I never thought I would make it back alive, so I relax once I get into the living room. You guys should, like, eat. Is Rin the main course, though? I mean, what? I feel a bit dizzy and lean against the wall. Bro. Shiro's a certified dumbass, and I love him. She's right, but I think her last comment was unnecessary. How many times did she call me an idiot today? I bet she set a new record already. Man, she is like wanting to get close and physical with us. Not that I'm complaining, because she's proven to be pretty dang cute, and Shiro deserves some nice, wholesome, physical human contact, you know, after all he's been through this past couple weeks. I nod and move by Tosaka. Well, you're about to show me your unlimited blush works. Bro, Rin, you sneaky devil. You just want to help him out, but I know you. I mean, fair enough. You make a good point. I was unconscious and I was only causing trouble for Tosaka at that time. Dude, Shiro is shredded. Like, it's insane how muscular he is, but to be fair, if you spent every day for like 8 years or something doing the amount of exercise he does, it's obvious. Bro, jealous just a bit. How unfair. I can't complain if she tells me with a face like that. I give up and sit down. Seeing that the shirt is stained with blood, Tosaka gives up taking it off and starts cutting it right away. She then quickly but carefully takes off the bandages. Is it that bad? Tosaka gasps when she sees it. But I'm troubled as well. It's so embarrassing having her stare at my body so closely.
せっかく治りかけてたのがまた開いてるわよ。まったく こんなの見せられたら怒るに怒れないじゃない。
Yeah, because of how much pain that would cause. I mean, even if it is Shiro's, what's the word I'm looking for? Recklessness. To be fair, he had really no other choice, though. I'm not, like, saying it's a bad thing. She talks like that, but gently touches the wound. Doki doki. Crap, I'm getting dizzy for a different reason. I was able to stay calm even if she was near me, but my heart's beating fast now, and I'm having trouble determining where to look. Oh, man. Nice. I criticize myself mentally, but it does no good. The temperature inside my head will keep increasing as long as we're like this. Because the dizziness isn't caused by my wound.
もういいだろう。血止めをして可能止め塗って包帯を巻き直してくれればいいから。
そういうのは手当てって言わない。宣言撤回、やっぱり頭にきた。そんな気休めで外に出たわけね、あんたは。
I don't think I've seen that word that often before. Wow. A slapping sound. Ouch! Okay. What was that for? Tosaka just slapped me on my... Oh my... Tosaka, I'm gonna need you to chill just a little bit.
何の恨みがあるんだお前。
恨みなら骨髄まで染み渡ってるっていうの。それでも手加減してあげたんだから感謝しなさい。
Saying so, Tosaka takes out something that looks like ointment.
今の痛かったでしょ。とりあえず壊死してる神経を治したからしばらくは痛むわよ。馴染むまでは痛むけど、痛みがあるうちは無茶しちゃダメだからね。
She takes the jelly-like substance and applies it to my wound. It looks really suspicious, but I stay quiet since I know Tosaka is seriously treating my wound.
はい、これで終わり。あとは包帯を巻いてぐっすり寝れば、明日には幾分楽になってるはずよ。
She skillfully wraps the bandages around the wound. I'm not praising her or anything, but she does a much better job than I do.
その、サンキュー、トサカ。なんか楽になった。
I thank her while averting my gaze.
まあ、それならいいけど、楽になったって言うんなら見た甲斐があったわ。
治らないものと覚悟してたから余計助かった。ともかく手当てをしてくれてありがとう。
そんなの当たり前でしょ。私が見る以上はきっかり直してみせるんだから。
Finishing the treatment, Tosaka gets up. Then, I don't know why, but she heads to the kitchen. Oh, she's gonna cook you food?
トサカ?
Dude, oh my god, my heart's gonna explode, man. Am I seeing things? She's checking what's inside the refrigerator and the rice cooker.
何をするつもりなんだ。
夕ご飯の支度。白を食べてないでしょ。私も食べてないのよ。だからとりあえず夕食。
Bro, I'm so jealous right now. That sounds so nice. Oh.
それは見ればわかる。けど、どうしてこの状況で夕飯なんだ。
なんでって当然じゃない。人間空腹でまともな案が浮かぶわけないでしょ。
Tosaka speaks while staring inside the refrigerator. It's time for dinner. Yum. The sound of our utensils echoes inside the room. It's past 10 o'clock. I don't know how it ended up like this, but Tosaka and I are eating a late dinner together. By the way, the dinner was made by both of us. Of course, Shiro had to go and help. That's just his way. Tosaka wanted to eat Japanese food, but she didn't even know how to make miso soup. It really makes me wonder what they're teaching in the cooking class at school. They have a cooking class, homie? Bro, the only cooking class we had over here was in college. Dude, I would have been down with the cooking class. That way I could learn how to actually make food other than, like, basic shit like toast, cereal, and eggs. Like, I could never cook a real meal, dude. I'm sure I could learn, but, you know, where's the fun in that when you could just slap something in the microwave? That's the lazy way, bro. She must be hungry as her plate is almost empty. But I don't have much of an appetite right now. It's probably because this isn't the time to be eating, but more so because I haven't replied to Tosaka.
シローはここで降りなさい。
F in the chat, dude. I haven't told her my reply to those words.
遠坂、話がある。
I put my chopsticks down and stare at Tosaka.
何？
あれから考えたんだ。俺がこの戦いを始めた理由を。一体何がしたかったのかってこと。
うん、それで？
She urges me to go on as she sips on the miso soup. She's putting my spirit down, but I try to get myself together.
初めは巻き込まれたからだった。そしてマスターになった以上はこの戦いをどうにかしたかった。けどマスターになったとか巻き込まれたとかそんなのは関係がない。
Ooh, this is important. Glad he's acknowledging this.
俺は正義の味方が好きなんだ。だからみんなを守らないと。マスターなんてどうでもいい。マスターでなくなってもセイバーがいなくなっても
Dude, I can...
変わりはない。
I'm not nearly as, like, selfless as Shiro, nor am I as idealistic, but I totally get it. Like, I have that same mentality as well, if that makes sense. Just in a, I guess, lighter way. You know, I don't have survivor's guilt or any of that, nor do I have to put myself in situations where I'm gonna die over and over again, thankfully. But I get it. I say so, ready for Tosaka's rebuttal. But
そう。
yeah, it's way different a reaction than I expected. She makes an absent-minded response and finishes her rice. She knows, dude.
聞いてるわよ。シローは一人でも戦うのよね。死ぬような目に遭うより、死ぬような目に遭ってしまう人がいるっていう事実が
Hit the nail right on the head.
だからどんなに自分が弱くても戦うことに決めたんでしょ。
She looks straight at me. It's as if she sees through the part of me that I don't even know about, and most of all, she approves that I am fighting.
何よその顔。リスが砂糖菓子舐めたような顔して。
That is a weird analogy. Do they not like sugar? I mean, I've never seen a squirrel eat sugar before, so I can't say, but... I mean, it's that... Usually their food is bitter, so I guess something like that would taste weird to them. Maybe when you first met, yeah. Well, there's that fact too. That's true. That's true.
それにさ、どんなに止めたってあんたはそういうやつなんだって分かっちゃったし。
Yeah, some people you just can't change. You can't stop them, you know? Tosaka averts her gaze a bit. I don't know why, but... Dude, this is a poggers moment!
まあね、仕方ないから付き合ってあげる。だいたいあんたみたいなのを一人にしてたら不安で眠れないし。
My heart, it's burning. She takes a huge breath after getting ready for some reason.
シロー風に言えば、私もシローのこと嫌いじゃないし。
I don't think that's exactly Shiro's words, dude. Also, I low-key think Rin has the most portraits and sprites in the game. Like, this is the first time we've seen this one, but it is very cute.
私はそういうわけだし、そっちだって一緒にいても問題ないでしょ?
She hands me the bowl. How long did it take me to realize that she's asking for seconds? Oh! Dude, I don't know if she's gonna like that. It's a little too far. I take the bowl, fill it from the rice cooker, and hand it back to her.
いいけど、お腹減ってるし、ご飯美味しいし。
Tosaka starts eating the heap of rice. I smile. I bet I'm smiling as I eat. But I can't help it. I'm so happy right now, so let me smile like a fool for a while. I am envious, man. Not envious of the situation, but I'm envious of this evening you two have had together. Well, now we're drinking tea after dinner.
つまり東映には 投影なりの限度ってものがあるわけ。一見イメージを形にするっていう何でもありに見えるけど、投影にはいろいろと独自のルールがある。その制約の中で一番わかりやすいのは投影物の損傷。
Tosaka puts up a finger as she drinks her tea.
存在における強度。何？幻想なるものの存在に耐えられない軽さってやつ。
I sip the tea and tilt my head in wonder.
何も知らないようでいてつまんない言葉知ってるのね、あなた。けどまあ当たらずとも遠からず
I
か
would
な。
love more explanation on some projection, so do tell
投影
me.
は自己のイメージからそれに沿った本物を完璧に複製する。これに例外はないわ。自分の中で完璧でなければ投影はできない。新作の影である以上、
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to
自分の
do.
口に許されないのが投影魔術よ。
It's like ultra advanced alchemy, just inside of your mind and through your magic circuit.
だから基本的に投
You
影
don't
に
need
よって生
equivalent
み出された
exchange
も
as
のは
well, so there's
自己
that.
のイメージ通りの強度を持つわ。幻想という点においてはこの時点で完璧なのよ。
You know, we have this whole like projection thing, and like when you think about it, like being a shadow of the original or like an illusion of the original, it gets me thinking about Archer and Shiro. Like, what if that could be compared to them? But I don't know who would be the illusion or the how could you say the fake? Like, they're both very real, but one's like a fake, like an imitation, an illusion, a projection. I don't know if that makes sense. That's sort of like a comparison I have with the whole projection situation. I think it kind of fits into their dynamic together and the mystery between them, but when it comes to anything else, I'm not too sure, but I thought I'd give my thoughts on that.
加えて投影する術者のイメージ、知識が本物に近ければ近いほど現実においても完璧になるわけ。
ちょっと待った。それはおかしい。俺、アーチャーの剣を投影しただろ。けど、それはクズキに壊された。いくらクズキの拳にキャスターの強化がかかってるからって、防具を壊せるほどじゃない。ってことは、俺が投影したアーチャーの干渉と爆矢はオリジナルに数段劣るってことじゃないのか。
はい、いいところに気がつきました、エミヤ君。
Ooh,
それが投影の限界、存在における強度ってやつよ。
I see.
いい？投影はあくまで投影、想像じゃない。投影を作り上げるのは術者のイメージだけだから、イメージそのものにほころびが生じたとき、本物と同じ性能であろうと無産するの。
Damn, bro. You need some like next level concentration and understanding to do it.
イメージにほころびが生じる？それも変じゃないか。
But after it's
イメージが間
projected,
違っていた
maybe.
らそもそも投影はできないんだろ。
ええ。だからほころびが生じるのは投影した後になるわ。
Shiro's always in his mind and tense. I mean, it can happen for sure.
そうね。例えばシローが絶対に折れない名剣を投影したとするでしょ。
But like someone attacks you and your mind thinks that, oh, my sword's gonna break or something, and then it does that. I nod. Tosaka nods in satisfaction.
けど絶対に折れない剣なんてものはない。
Or we can abide by the actual the laws of just the world, you know?
その剣の表現方法、伝承、売り文句などに絶対に折れないというパーソナリティがあるだけで、実際はそれを上回る幻想にぶつかれば刃こぼれぐらいするし。
So you're telling me diamond isn't unbreakable. I
それ、折れた時点で俺のイメージが間違っていたってことにならないか。
ならない。投影が成功した時点で形の上での間違いはないんだし、そもそも折れない剣なんて名前みたいなものでしょ。けどシロ、あなたがイメージしたものは絶対に折れない剣よね。これが現実で折れちゃった場合、投影されたものは嘘になるのよ。それは剣が折れたからじゃないわ。あなたがイメージしたものは折れない剣。それが折れてしまった時点でシロの中の折れない剣と 今折れてしまった剣は
Some
別物なんだ。
Schrodinger's cat
あなた
shit.
と現実、その計りが崩れてしまうから。
So if I sum it
よ
up,
し。つまり俺は折れない剣を想像して投影したけど、実際に投影した剣は戦闘中に折れてしまった。その時点で俺自身がその剣を、なんだよ、実際は折れちゃうじゃないか、この剣と否定
I
して
sort of
しま
said
って、
something similar
結
earlier.
果として
I'm glad my
投影
mind
した
was
も
on
の
the
は
right
消える
track
って
at
ことか。
least. Because I feel like when it comes to me and like stories, I'm either extremely intelligent and getting like everything correct, or I'm a total idiot. I feel like there's no in between.
そのイメージの齟齬によって。
冴えてるじゃない。ええ、つまりはそういうこと。あなたはアーチャーの剣を投影した。あなたの中であれがどんな位置づけだったかは知らないけど、シロ自身はクズキの攻撃で壊れるような剣をけど、実際に剣は破壊されてしまった。その時点であなたはその剣を、こんなのはアーチャーの剣じゃないと思
And
っ
you
て
need
し
to
ま
be
った
like
の
a
よ。
monk, like focused on your mental
で、
imaging.
作り上げられた投影は術者の否定によって存在強度を失い、元の空想に戻ったってわけ。
I see. Even projected weapons can break. But it's not the enemy, but you who make them disappear from this world. When the difference between the reality and the image become too large to be reconciled, the projected weapon disappears. It is because the one who projected the weapon stops believing in the image.
わかった？だから投
You
影の
just
術は
gotta
まず
believe.
設計図から入るの。あとは材質と性質、歴史なんかも考慮すべきね。そのあたりから固めていけば、多少現実でイメージと違ってもすぐに消えるなんてことはないでしょ。
I'm sure it would destroy Shiro's body, but what would be really cool is if he could do what Archer was doing in his fight with Ku, where he was just constantly pulling out new versions of his swords over and over again. That would be some cool ass shit, homie.
それならなぜそれを作る気になったのかってのが最初じゃないか。材料と技法だけじゃダメだ。今日の夕飯だってまず遠坂が和風が食べたいって言ったから始まっただろ。なら創作する上での発端から始めないと。
Oh, Tosaka's stunned. Tosaka stares at me. I drink tea and tilt my head in wonder.
なんでこんな話になったんだっけ。
そういえばそうよね。私たち確か今後の作戦を話し合ってたような。
It'd be like that sometimes. Oh yeah, we were talking about what our course of action should be.
シロ、本格的に投影魔術をやってみない？
Yeah. When Tosaka derailed the conversation,
思い出した。不確定な要素に希望を持っちゃうぐらい行き詰まってたんだっけ。
まあそうだな。第一、俺の投影なんて剣を作れる程度だ。それも今まで役に立ったことなんてないんだから大した戦力にならないだろう。
oh, she's looking at me with those eyes again. I wonder why. She always makes that face when we talk about projection magic.
まあいいわ。もう一度状況を確認しましょう。目下のところ、敵はキャスター。あいつだけなら大したことはないけど、白兵戦に長けたマスターと、あっち側についたアーチャーに守られている限り手は出せないわ。加えて、セイバーが操られるのも時間の問題。状況は刻一刻と悪くなっていくわけだけど。
It really is.
けどアーチャーはともかくセイバーはまだキャスターの自由にはなっていない。それが正気といえば正気だろう。セイバーが完全にキャスターの軍門に下ったら
I can't let that happen. She told me to run. She told me as she cried. So for Saber's sake, I can't let Caster do as she wishes.
そういうことね。それじゃあ意見のある人は挙手。シロ、なんかいいアイデアある？
No. An idea that will break the current deadlock. I don't. I don't. If there's a way to oppose Caster, it is. Ooh. Dude, this is a big boy choice, dude. 3-way deadlock. Alright. I truly believe that's the correct choice. They aren't opponents that we can take on by ourselves. There are 3 enemies, then we'll need at least 1 more on our side. Then there are limited possibilities. People who are the Magi and have a reason to fight against Castor. It'll be other masters.
怒らないで聞いてくれ。その他のマスターとは協力できないかな。
いいわ。その心は口にするからには何か算段があるんでしょ。
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだが、今のキャスターの状態は他のマスターにとっても無視できないだろう。なら今回だけってことで手を組めるかもしれないと思って。
ええ、実は私も同じことを考えてた。てっきり白を反対すると思ってたから黙ってたんだけどね。
She says so unenthusiastically. She must not like the idea, but she must know that's the only option we have.
となると残るマスターは2人。ランサーのマスターとバーサーカーのマスターね。
Since we don't know where Kyria is, I feel like the most logical choice is Ilya, dude. We need to head to the
ランサーの
Einsburn
マスターは不明の
mansion.
ままだから交渉のしようもないけど、バーサーカーのマスターであるイリアスフィールなら可能性はあるかもしれない。
Yes. Berserker's master. The white girl in the statue-like giant I met on the night when it all began. She sounded dangerous, but I don't think she's cruel.
そうだな。あの
It's
子なら
complicated,
話し合い
really.
に応じてくれそうだ。見返りに無茶な条件も出してきそうにないし。
バカ。シローにとっちゃあいつが一番やばいのよ。あいつ初めから
Yeah,
シロ
yeah,
ーしか見て
that's
なかったもの。
She wants to turn you into a doll,
あ
my
んたは
guy.
どんな目に遭わされるか分かったもんじゃないわよ。
なんだよそれ。俺はあの子と一度しか会ってないんだ。そんなことになるわけないだろう。
Tosaka's intuition, I guess.
交渉なんて破棄に決まってるじゃない。
Bruh. Then Tosaka averts her gaze and gulps down her tea.
けど今はイリアスフィールにかけるしかないわね。キャスターの正体がアーチャーの言う通りなら間違いなくバーサーカーは天敵だし。
What is MEDEA'S weakness then? I don't know.
何しろ生前の知り合いだもの。キャスターの手口
Oh,
に知り尽くして
they
る
were.
でしょ。
Yeah, you're right.
バーサーカーならキャスターとアーチャーが同時に攻めてきても追い返せる。私たちはその間にクズキ一人を攻略すればいい。
You guys ever just get a random taste in your mouth that makes you feel like you want to throw up? It's happening to me right now, and I kind of hate it.
そりゃ理想論だけど。トサカ、キャスターはバーサーカーと関係があるのか？
ええ、アーチャーが言ってたのよ。バーサーカーの正体はヘラクレスだって。キャスターが本当にあの希代の魔女ならアルゴーセンつながりでバーサーカーとは面識があるかもしれない。
Sounds familiar, but I don't know what that is.
私が綺麗に苦手意識を持つのと同じ。
Fair enough.
世の中にはね、どうしたって苦手なやつっているもんなのよ。
What if your enemy is yourself though? Because I feel that. I'm like, okay, but I'm sure everyone would dislike that priest.
じゃあ決まりだな。
Except for Gilgamesh.
けど、どうやってあの子を見つけようか。あれ以来出てこないけど、あれだけの魔力を持ってるなら隠れていようと見つけ出せるだろ。なのに見つからないってことはこの町にはいないってことじゃないのか。
でしょうね。イリアスフィールはずっと遠くから聖杯戦争を眺めて楽しんでるんでしょ。
ずっと遠く？キャスターみたいに竜道寺から町を監視してるのか？
Somewhat similar.
さあ、けどどこにいるかは見当がつく。昔父さんから聞いたことがあるのよ。アインツベルンは郊外の森に別荘を持ってるって。
Yep, you got it. She says so with a tense voice. Avila inside the forest. Tosaka's expression tells me how dangerous the place is. Time for bed. I go back to my room and lie down. Drowsiness fills my body as soon as I do. I stare at the dark ceiling. We are going to Iliasville's hideout tomorrow. No matter what kind of negotiations take place, it's obvious that we'll need energy. Tosaka said we wouldn't get good results with tired bodies, so we decided to head out after we sleep. That's not that much sleep, that's unfortunate. I've been there many times before because I have bad insomnia. The young master that appeared on the night I became a master. The weird thing is, not only do I have insomnia, but I oversleep and sleep too much. Like, does that even make sense? Like, it's hard for me to fall asleep, but when I do, it's like impossible to wake me up. And then for some reason, it's really easy for me to take naps. But like when it comes to actually trying to fall asleep at nighttime and get a full night's rest, it kind of screws me over. And it's partially my fault, obviously, because I do take naps after work and just randomly. You know? If Saber's a servant excellent in all aspects, Berserker is a servant specialized in battle. There's no servant that can match Berserker in simple combat. Just call her, your little... What's the... your emoto, I guess. Saying it makes me believe it's impossible to negotiate with them. But... Strangely, I don't feel any uneasiness. I think Ilia will understand us if we talk to her. Just like Tosaka, she would classify enemy and ally as a magus. But I think she's a proper girl with all that aside. I bet he would scorn me, saying that it's a convenient fantasy. But what's wrong with believing? Is it wrong to have hope for someone you haven't met yet? I realize that I'm gritting my teeth. The man who told me to drown in my ideals and die betrayed Tosaka in front of me. A guy with that much trust and power switched his allegiance so easily. My mind darkens. No, it's freezing. My head cools down thinking about what he did. I'm angry. I can't forgive him for betraying Tosaka. I can't forgive the fact that he cast away his partner. I will swear here, even if that may have been the very best action, and even if it turns out that it was the right choice to survive, I will never do something like that. This is supposed to be like a hint hint Heaven's Feel moment. Like he's gonna do something like this in Heaven's Feel. His actions have been getting on my nerves because every route is a different aspect of Shiro. I feel like we've explored the aspect of Shiro we haven't explored is selfishness. And we haven't explored a Shiro who's given up on an ideal. So that's the most logical conclusion for the final route to do, you know? I feel like from a narrative that splits the story into 3 arcs for the main character, focusing on different parts of him, you know, that just makes sense. Because, like I said, Shiro's a very reactionary character. He reacts to the things around him. The world doesn't revolve around him. I really like stories that do that. He told me not to talk about ideals. I opposed him when he told me I cannot save everybody. But I agreed with his words somewhere inside of me. His words are correct. The superhero my father talked about is just a fantasy, and I accepted the fact that I would have to become like him to as close to the ideal as possible. Not wanting to do so, I openly denied the idea, even though I accepted it in my mind. But this isn't on such a level. I can't approve of him. I can't approve of his action no matter what the circumstances may be. I won't be able to keep standing if I approve of him. I'm really excited. There's gotta be Shiro versus Archer in this route, dude. I want to see it. My words do not disperse into the darkness, but stay in the room. A few hours until dawn. I keep repeating those words even in my sleep. Alright, we're finished with that day. Versus Berserker. Alright, I guess it's not gonna go that well today. February 12th. That's an important day for me. Another interlude? Okay. No reason at all, though. She's alone with her thoughts in the darkness. Is it Saber? It's been a day since she attacked the church and killed the priest. No. It's Medea. has been a day since she declared that she can find it, no matter where it may be hidden, if it exists. It may not be the case for other servants, but there is no way someone versed in magic like her would not be able to find a relic as holy as the Holy Grail. Then there is only one answer. The Holy Grail was never hidden in this church to begin with. You're correct. She sighs and puts her fingers on her temple. When she closes her eyes, heavy darkness assails her body. No, it is just a scream. It is not coming from outside. The scream comes from her body and mind, telling her that her fatigue is at the limit. It has been a month since she was summoned. Yeah, that is... wow. Since then, she has done her best to win. Her master is an ordinary person without a magic circuit, and she is the weakest of the servants. To make up for that, she abused forbidden magic. Collection from the people, the magical strings she placed throughout the town, and the control of the ley line using sacrifices. These are all reasons why she was called a witch during her life. But she has never used them before, so she should have never used them and did not intend to do the forbidden. So, why did she end up using them for a meaningless conflict like this? She became a heroic spirit to take revenge, but she also knows it is meaningless to use the skills that labeled her a witch. We're learning about her. That's good, that's good. She only uses trivial magic. She only created disasters that caused people to destroy themselves with their own greed. That was all the revenge she could manage, so what caused her to stray from that path so much?
すべては聖杯のため。あらゆる望みを叶える聖杯なのだから、気が違うのは当然です。
That is a lie. She knows the true identity of the Holy Grail. She already knows what that thing is and why servants like her are summoned. Wow, she knows that? Are you just in denial then? It is true that most wishes can be granted using the Holy Grail that appears in this town. It will allow her to stay in this world with physical form, and it will allow her to start a second life as a human. But...
そんなことに何の意味があるというの?
Saying so, she closes her eyes. She empties her mind. For now, she lets her guard down and rests her mind. She hears the sound of rain. It was a night without moonlight. The surroundings were pitch black, and she wandered with an empty mind. That is where she met him. With blood-stained body and frozen limbs. A chance meeting that was more miraculous than any miracle. Kuzuki and her, huh? How interesting. Finally, we get to learn about Castor. Finally. It was the mountain where the Ryudo Temple is located. Falling rain. She was stumbling aimlessly through the dense forest. She left behind a trail of blood. In her hand was a dagger that breaks all contracts. Her purple robe was wet with rain and her limb had turned white from the winter cold. Yikes. She staggered around, holding onto the trees for support. She walked on, dirtied with mud, her breath ragged, reaching out, her hands as if begging for help. She did not look like her usual self, filled with cool composure. No, even the amount of magical energy was unlike her. She was exhausted. She only had a handful of power left. For a servant, magical energy is like a lifeline that allows them to stay in this world. But that was all lost. No magical energy was coming from her master. But that was only natural. She had just killed her own master. Betrayal, huh? Okay. Interesting. So, in the Fate route, when she states that she killed her master, then that must have been the original master she had, and then she meets Kuzuki. But in the Fate route, some differing event happened and they never met. Maybe? That was the cause of her exhaustion. She, Servant Castor, was about to disappear alone as compensation for obtaining freedom. A dry laugh. It is funny that her body was not able to maintain itself and that she betrayed her vulgar master. Moreover, it's quite amusing to see how badly she had underestimated the relationship between servant and master. She had done well. Her master was a legitimate magus. He was in his 30s, had a medium build, and had a few noteworthy characteristics. He had no will to fight, but dreamed of victory. He was a man that only waited for the other masters to kill each other. The man had not trusted Castor. He treated Castor coldly as she was a superior magus, and he insulted her for being inferior to other servants. She gave up on him after a few days. She acted as an obedient servant and filled a man's conceit. In short, she made him use his command spell for meaningless things. She told him he did not need the command spells. She made him believe that she would be faithful to her master even without the command spell. It was his fault for believing in her. The master used his third command spell for a meaningless thing and was killed by Caster at that moment. It was easy. She did not like the fact that the contract with him still existed, so she killed him using the rule breaker. But she had made a mistake. Servants exist using the supply of magical energy provided by their masters, but not just magical energy. Servants are only allowed to exist in this age by being connected with people of this age. In other words, to lose one's master, the passport to this age means being forced to return to the outside world. But she would not normally be this exhausted. This was the curse her master had left her. Her master did not approve of her, as she was a better magus than he was. Therefore, he had limited her magical energy to be always below his level. The magical energy level of a mere human cannot keep a servant in this world. She would normally be able to stay in this world for 2 days after losing her master, but now was different. Her magical energy was drastically decreasing with every second, and the end was near. Probably a few more minutes. She would disappear if she could not find her next master in that time. She would disappear before she could fight, unable to do anything. She would be a pitiful servant, summoned only to be trampled upon. It was vexing. It was vexing, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. It had always been like this for her. She was treated unreasonably like this all the time. She was always used as a tool, and she was never understood by anyone. Yes, her life was always controlled by someone else. Her mind was destroyed at a young age to save a hero chosen by the gods. Just for the sake of a hero, the goddess of beauty happened to favor the goddess cursed her to blindly love a man she had never seen. That's bullshit. As we all know, the Greek pantheon is full of pieces of godly garbage. Seriously, I can't think of many of the gods that are good. That's why it's satisfying the God of War series. The girl betrayed her father, and she was even forced to betray her own country. There is no memory after that. After everything was over, the girl who was a princess was in an unfamiliar country. A girl that betrayed her father, the king, for a man. A witch that cut apart her own brother and threw the pieces into the sea to escape her native country. And the man who wanted it done cast her aside in order to become king, saying he could not marry a witch. Fuck, man. She was controlled and taken to an unknown country, was marked as a witch, and the only person she could rely on threw her away. That is her origin. There is nothing people can blame her for, and people around her were aware of that. But still, people continued to demand for her to be a witch. An evil to protect the king. An evil to be on the receiving end of evil superstitions. People wanted a convenient scapegoat that they could blame for any disaster. Such is any really civilization or a large group of people, country, any place really. Scapegoats are important to maintain political order in the face of any crisis, really. This pattern has never changed. People demand easily understandable evil to reassure themselves of their own goodness. Facts. Nasu spittin'. In that regard, she was the perfect sacrifice. The father she could rely on was in a distant country. Nobody defended her, and people gladly blamed her for all the ugly things in their world. Ah, man, this is really getting to me. This is sad. That's really just messed up. They decided that every ugliness was the witch's doing, that they are poor, that they hate others, that humans are ugly, and even that people die. How does Kuzuki change you? You seem to be almost in love with Kuzuki, from what I can tell. So she merely accepted it. Since she could only live as a witch, she decided to live like a witch. She swore to show them the ugliness of the wishes they demanded of her. So she succumbed to the evil because of that, and then committed evil. I see. If people do not know their ugliness, so be it. They can stay ignorant, go to hell for their own crimes, and suffer forever. They won't be able to get out of hell. They will suffer forever as criminals because they do not know what crimes they have committed. That is the reason for existence she imposed on herself. That is the only role people gave to the girl, to the one called the witch, who never had a free will. Man, that's sad. But nobody actually wished for such a thing. The same goes for her as well. She seeks revenge against her will without having any wish for herself. Yeah. Until she met up with this stranger. A rustling sound. She peered ahead even though she was barely able to stand. It's midnight. Who could possibly come into this forest at this time? It was a heavy voice. She did not have the composure to check who it was. She just thought it was all over. She had no power to use magic. Her purple robe might have looked like a coat, but she was covered in blood. A woman covered in blood was hiding in the rain. It is obvious what such a person did. Anyone would run away at first. What would they do after that? They would either call the police or pretend they hadn't seen it. It did not matter to her as she could no longer move. That caused the last of her spirit to give out. Her last moment was cold and lonely, just as it was at the end of her true lifetime. Or so she thought. Ooh, this track playing, I love it. When she regained her consciousness, she was in that place. In front of her is that man, the man who she met in the woods. Those were his first words. When she watched the man with blank amazement. The tone of his voice never changed. That was her first encounter with her master, Kuzuki Soichiro. Kuzuki was a strange man. Should he be called a ghost? He had no reason to live, but had no reason to die. He was just there, and since he existed, he followed whatever whim took him. He has no self. That was her first impression of him, and she thought it would be easy to turn him into a puppet. She grew to realize that the thought was a mistake. Kuzuki Soichiro does not have a past. He has no self because he has no past, but it does not mean Kuzuki Soichiro is empty. Kuzuki was a sincere man. He easily accepted her when she told him that she wanted him to be her master and when she told him about her true identity. He accepted it after she told him it was the truth. And the most amazing part was the night they met. As she was about to disappear, she told Kuzuki to lay with her. After making a difficult expression, I mean, fair enough. If that's, I feel like that's really fucked that that's like a rare thing to actually, you know, be like, ask. Okay. I'm kind of stunned here, alright. After that, he made love to her without waiting for her reply. To put it his way, they had sex before the Buddha. It seemed rough, like Asura, but it also seemed gentle, like Bodhisattva? Either way, the contract was completed. She obtained a new master, was able to stay in this world, and returned to her role of being a witch. She still considered it to be a miracle. She would have disappeared before she woke up if she wasn't taken to the Ryota Temple. The Ryota Temple is a demonic place for servants, but it is a perfect summoning place once inside. As the Ryota Temple is surrounded by a boundary field, it is suited for keeping anything inhuman. She was able to remain without disappearing because she was brought to the Ryota Temple. Had it been any place else, she would have vanished after being taken there. As a result, she obtained the best ley line and the best protection. She easily occupied the Ryota Temple, figured out the mechanism of the Holy Grail, and summoned Assassin as the fifth servant. But such things are trivial matters. She was certainly lucky on that night. Many miracles saved her, and she is now on the verge of victory, but they do not deserve thanks. She would have been fine with it even if those miracles had not occurred. There's only one important fact. A very small matter that is trivial for anyone else. For her, the fact that she was able to meet Kuzuki Soichiro is a miracle beyond belief. But it's not going well. No, she feels that everything she does is not going well. Her master will not be delighted with what she did. He has never had an interest in the Holy Grail. She would do her best to grant any wish of his, but Kuzuki Soichiro had none. A one-sided relationship. They do not get along well. It is not going well at all. Bruh, savage. Archer, I'm gonna need you to chill just a little bit. She turns to the intruder. It is not her master that is standing there. It is the knight in red, Archer, with his true identity still
アー
unknown.
チャー、あなたには外の見張りを任せたはずです。
ああ、それがな、ざっと見たところ周囲に敵という敵がいない。
それはそうでしょうね。私たちの敵はバーサーカーだけよ。それもセイバーさえ陥落すればこちらから撃って出るだけ。あなたもそれが分かっていたからこそ。
さて、どうかな。私はあのマスターと契約を切りたかっただけとは思わないか。
There's some truth in Archer's words, but what does it mean? Archer had no intention of betraying, but betrayed his master only because he wanted to break his contract with Tosaka Rin?
そう。小娘のおもりはごめんということ。確かに私たちサーバントは総じてマスターに不満を持つわ。
いや、召喚者として彼女は完璧だった。ただ、少しばかり狂いが生じただけだ。それとキャスター、一つ忠告しよう。あらゆるサーバントが君と同じだとは思わないことだ。少なくともセイバーとバーサーカーは主に不満を抱いてはいなかった。
True. True,
正し
true.
い英雄というものはね。
So that means that technically Ilya is righteous. In a way.
刺激できないものなんだ。
何を今さら。ねじ曲がったマスターだからこそねじ曲がった英霊を呼ぶ。そのようなことあなたに言われるまでもないわ。
That is right. Servants are determined by their summoners. Summoners with dark shadows in their minds cannot summon heroic spirits who are on the light side. In that regard, she and Ryder are not heroic spirits. The Twisted Master calls for twisted heroic spirits. As Ryder was one that was beautiful, she was also one that was pure. It is ironic how the Serpent Caster summoned as a fictional hero.
しかし、考えてみればおかしな話だな。君やライダーは英霊に敵対するものだろう。にもかかわらず、サーバントとして選ばれている。まあ、聖杯には善悪の区別はない。力のある人間なら、誰であろうと組み上げるということか。
いいえ、本来そんな英霊としての側面もあるものなんて混ざり物は選ばれない。この戦いがおかしくなったのは3度目からよ。それまでは私やライダーのような英霊は呼ばれなかった。
That's weird. I wanna know the lore of what changed. That's weird. That does not concern her now. She is not concerned about the true identity of the Holy Grail. Servant Caster's mission is to win this war. She is not interested in what comes after. No, to be honest, that is not the end she wishes for.
無駄話はここまでよ、アーチャー。持ち場に戻りなさい。あなたが何を考えているかはどうでもいいわ。あなたはすでに私のサーバント。その命は私の手の中にある。
了解した。では、従順なサーバントらしく、主の期待に応えるとしよう。
The knight in red goes up the stairs. Seeing him off silently, Caster lets out a long sigh. One more day until Saber surrenders. She does not have the Holy Grail yet, but she will approach the end once Saber falls. What will happen when the war ends? Caster will make every wish come true with her powers. It is not bad to live as a witch, like she swore before dying. But the reason will go away once the war ends. Even if she still has the will, her master will lose the reason to stay as her
あ
master.
と少しで聖杯はこの手に収まる。
Caster gracefully reaches out into empty space. Her hard work is about to be rewarded, but her expression is like that of a criminal about to be executed. Wow. Did not expect to get a good amount of depth with, Caster. Holy shit. Back to the fire? Alright. There we go. We have her true name. Okay. Let's read this. An unfortunate princess labeled as a witch in Greek mythology. Jason, a hero famous from the Argo expedition, argued with King Peleus, the usurper of his father's country. He managed to make the king promise to return the country to him if he went far east to Colchis and returned with the Golden Fleece. The princess of Colchis that possessed this Golden Fleece was Medea. King Aedes of Colchis excelled at magic. As his daughter, she also practiced magic, but her personality was far from what you might call a witch. Her fate was confounded after the hero Jason appeared. When the goddess Aphrodite, who supported Jason, realized the king of Colchis was unshakable, she controlled his daughter, Medea's mind, and made her blindly love Jason. That's so fucked up, dude. As a result, Medea betrayed her father and her country for a foreigner called Jason, whom she had never seen before. Medea nullified her father's magic and even the enchanted fire-breathing oxen, and allowed Jason to obtain the Golden Fleece. Of course, the king of Colchis was infuriated and personally led his army to capture Jason before he left the country. To assist Jason's escape, Medea was once again used by the goddess. Medea boarded the Argo, which belonged to the man she loved yet only knew by name, and since sliced her brother Apsyrtus into pieces right before the eyes of her. That's... Dude, that... Aphrodite, you are a fucking thought, dude. The king was overcome by grief and ordered for the collection of the pieces of his dead son. Seizing that opportunity, the Argo escaped its pursuers, and Jason safely returned to his native land of Lolkis. Returning to his native land, Jason asked for the return of the country as promised, but King Peleus refused and formed a plot to kill him. Jason relied on Medea's magic 3 times to escape the danger, and Medea came up with a plan for Jason. They invited King Peleus to visit and killed his servant in front of him. After reviving him with her magic, Medea offered to cast this spell of immortality on the king as well. The king was overjoyed and gave his body to Medea. Of course, his dead body was left in pieces and thrown into the sea. Thus, Jason became king. But his fellow Argonauts did not approve of his conduct. Most of all, they disapproved Medea's existence. She betrayed her country for a man, killed her brother to save herself, and now taken the throne by deceit. Medea was denounced as a witch and chased out of the country together with Jason. Jason and Medea arrived at Corinth, where they were welcomed by the king. Medea finally found peaceful rest in this land. This peace, finally obtained after her abduction and denouncement, did not last long. The king of Corinth took a liking to Jason and decided to have his daughter... it's really sad. Fuck you, Jason, dickhead. Mostly fuck Aphrodite, though. Jason also chose the young daughter, and Medea was exiled. Her actions after that were indeed those of a witch. Medea appeared at Jason's wedding and used her magic to burn all who attended, including the king of Corinth and his daughter. Jason was the only one left alive. Her fate after she left Corinth is unknown, as her life was filled only with betrayal. It is said that the princess became a true witch and continued to roam the Greek lands. It doesn't condone her actions, but do you blame her after living a life like that? That is awful. That is just sickening. I feel so bad for Castor. So I guess... I'm trying to think why Kuzuki meant so much. Like, why she fell in love with Kuzuki so easily. There's the fact that Kuzuki is a different kind of person. Someone who wouldn't use her. Someone who doesn't have, like, a need for any real bullshit gain from having her with him. There's the fact that they seem to put emphasis on the fact that he asked if he should be gentle or rough. But the next line says that there was no answer. It just kind of... But it was both, I guess? I mean, surely... I guess it was more of, like, the idea of his odd gentleness in a way that kind of floored her more so. But, I mean, after being betrayed and having lived like that, it is not so hard to believe that you'd be so touch-starved and want love that badly that you would fall for someone that showed the least bit of care for you, you know? So, as someone who's experienced that kind of stuff, who's been through a lot of those things, I really do understand Medea. It's really hard. The thing is people who've been beaten down and betrayed can either take 2 paths. They can decide to stop caring and start kind of living on the edge and doing bad for the sake of getting back at the world, or you can try to remain steadfast and righteous, which is something that I've tried to do. Of course, it's hard. The human nature, you want to have sort of a reason to strike back against what you've been through. Like, it's just a human nature kind of thing. But as someone who understands what she's going through with being so starved of love, affection, and all of that stuff, and then getting so attached to people that show the least bit of care for you, is something that I greatly relate to, and it makes me really sad for her, because I just I really do understand it, you know? It sucks, it really does, but it was good that we learned about her. I'm really happy we did, because I had been waiting such a long time to learn about Medea, and I'm glad that we did. Are there any new weapons on here? No. Alright. Oh, that just made me sad, I'll tell you that much. Holy frick nuts. I saw many corpses. I died at that time and was reborn. I do not have any regrets. My eyes lost hatred there. My hands lost anger there. My legs lost hope there. Myself lost itself there. Everything went away. It is not because I gave up that I believed nothing would save me. I just found out that it's natural. It's just that dying people will die and survivors will survive. I laid down in the rubble and stared at the burning field. I understood everything then. I thought I understood everything, but I still considered it. How wonderful it would be if I was able to save everything here. That's what I admired. I just wished nobody would have to suffer. That's why I tried to become a hero. It was simple, and it seemed like an ideal existence. That was why I aimed for it. I knew what I had to be, but there were many ways to get there. I kept on running, wanting to get as close to it as possible, even though I did not know what was right or wrong. Many paths I took were crooked, and my destination was only getting farther away. I'm taking the long way. I've been repeating this for 10 years since I got saved by Kiritsugu. But I won't regret it. I'm not as skillful as Tosaka. I will take the wrong path and lose a lot of things at times. But I cannot discard them as meaningless. I have to present meanings for everything I've trampled upon and everything that cannot be returned. So I cannot lose. It can't be helped if I lose against someone else, but I can win against myself. I can always fight back against my mind that tells me to give up. That is inspiring, Shiro. That is so inspiring, buddy. I feel so much for you, brother. That's all I swore upon. There's only one thing that I believed in and wanted to believe in. That's right. Even if I am walking down the wrong path, I will not regret believing in it. Bro, this is like an Eren Yeager moment. So I'm about to pull the biggest dick move in the history of dick moves. I'm going to end the episode here because, you know, I'm hilarious. And you guys are going to have to wait because, lol. In all seriousness, I just think that's a good little stopping point. We get a little good chunk of story here. Gonna go snatch Lolly. I had a great time. I really loved seeing Rin and Shiro get closer together, just having little light discussions with each other, coming up with a plan together. Just the cuteness of them becoming closer. Learning about Medea's backstory was heartbreaking, but really awesome because we finally get to see her motives and understand her more. That way we can sympathize with her. It's very interesting to see how really sad of a character she is. She's a very tragic character, as her myth implies. There's certainly more to her character than I'm able to talk about right now. I'm sure if I knew more about Medea's story and if I reread some of the earlier parts with her, I'd come to a greater understanding of the whole picture. But I can tell you that I feel deep sympathy for her, but I also can't condone the things she did, but I can understand them. And I can relate to a lot of her feelings, you know? It's hard. I totally get it. This was a fun time, though. I had a great time. This was a great episode filled with emotions, good moments, and just amazing storytelling. I'm excited for the rest of this day because we're apparently fighting Berserker again, and the fight with Berserker and the Fate route was one of my favorite parts of the whole route. So that's pretty hype. We also have, like, like, today's the 12th, 1, 2, 4 days left, in the game. So, yeah, these are probably going to be extremely lengthy, beefy days, because we have to get through everything in 4 days. That seems possible, but there's not room for levity, if that makes sense. Regardless of that, I just want to tell you that if you stayed all the way to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and it also helps the channel out quite a bit. You're the best. I wanted to ask, if you haven't already, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you can see all the new Fate contents, and be sure to comment something down below as it helps the algorithm, and I also love hearing from you all. So leave a question or just tell me something that you liked about the episode. I will gladly look at them, as it's one of my favorite parts of the day when I upload a video. Besides that, I just want to let you know that whoever it is that you are, wherever you are, if it's morning, day, evening, or night, please be sure to stay safe out there, and take care. I'll see you guys for the next episode of Unlimited Blade Works, where we go and play with a lolly. Don't take that. I don't want to go to jail.